Hey guys, this is the Virgo reading it's a general reading for July of 2018. Um, First off, be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising, your Venus sign videos, anything else that resonates with you or any other significant placements in your chart. Thank you so much for everybody who supported me and left comments. Thank you for those who have donated to my channel to help support me. Greatly appreciated. Definitely not necessary, but greatly appreciated. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. I'm still updating my description, my information for my description box, but if you need to reach me, the information is in there. Okay, so I feel like with your reading, there's like a perspective switch that's happening, which I think starts off, I don't know if I would say it starts off where it seems not so great or if it in the middle kind of goes not so great. But either way, I believe it ends up good. At least this energy that I'm looking at. Ends up good. I believe you're really being guided by either something above or spirit or whatever, the universe. Something is really guiding you to help kind of have this shift in perspective. And it is something that is for your own good or someone you're dealing with. I mean, these energies can either not resonate with you at all. Some of it can resonate, some not. It could be like I'm talking about it like it's you, but it's another person doing this to you or situation. I could be talking about love, and it could apply to, you know, how you feel internally, to your work life. The energy can flip-flop, or it may not resonate at all. So don't make it fit if it doesn't fit. But I feel like something happened and it had to happen. And it's probably even been building up to this in order to bring on a different perspective, and more balance, growth. And Virgos are all about growth, you know. So I just think sometimes Virgos can get really stuck in their own heads while trying to grow, that it actually impedes their growth. So, you know, because you guys, you know, Virgos come across like they're so judgmental or so harsh or whatever to other people. And what I've come to find out is that Virgos, they're really first and foremost most critical of themselves. They really aim at like being the best they can be and perfection and wanting to always grow and improve and just keep going, you know, that almost working energy. So wherever that energy is applied to, whether it's internal growth, external growth, your job, your relationship, whatever. And because you are so critical of yourself to always keep that momentum, you know, you have that same viewpoint to those around you that you care about. You care about them, so you want them to grow too, not only on their own because you care about them, but with you. You want them to grow with you, because you're trying to grow internally too. And and you're wanting that to reflect in your external world. Now, and I think this might be where this balance comes in at with what I'm about to say. I think there's a balance that needs to be had with that as well, though. That there's a balance between self-analyzing and self-improving while also having acceptance and compassion for where you currently are. And that doesn't mean to like stagnate yourself. It means to be more at peace with where you are and have gratitude for what is around you and in your surroundings, or even where you are or where you've been, or even having gratitude in a mistake that you made. Having gratitude for the lesson that it will teach you, or that what it will teach somebody else. And just not being judgmental about that. That knowing that everybody is where they need to be when they need to be there, including you and other people. So finding that balance of learning how to push and strive for growth, but also accept what is at the current time. So then that way, when you're pushing for growth, you're doing it from a place of love and higher vibration versus a place of fear or negativity or just negative self-talk. That is a lower vibration. That's not going to serve you in the long run. It's going to kind of bind you up or get you stuck. And you may or may not want to adopt this. Like, some people really feel like they need fear to motivate them. Some don't want to, and they lie to themselves that they're doing it. And then some are like, no, I'm okay with that because, you know, it is my biggest motivator and I don't want to lose my biggest motivator. Again, that mentality to hold on to that is a fear-based mentality. But either way, that type of thinking ends up getting you stuck because it starts off with good intentions. It just doesn't end well because nobody does want to feel judged, including your inner self, you know? And I think that's what maybe this lesson helps you take a step towards learning, is being able to find or channel in a different way that energy of yours of wanting to grow, but to do it in a more better, loving, constructive way. I shouldn't say constructive because I think they're both constructive, but one that is constructive for a longer time period that continues your growth, instead of working for like a minute where you keep it around because you're like, well, it's been working, but then finding it's making you stuck or making you lose the things around you that are actually also there for your growth. And then you having to realize, wow, the hard way, like, okay, this isn't working for me anymore. It worked for me at one time and it worked great. And because of that, you wanted to keep it, but finding it's not working for you anymore. And I think that is actually what's going on here. I think you're finding that there's either things or people in your life that are not working for you or serving you anymore, and or ways about yourself that are not working anymore. You are realizing that they are actually impeding on your growth, that there were things that you didn't see. And I don't know if you see that now. I don't know if you will see that in the future. We'll get into the cards and you'll see what I'm talking about. So in your main position, the center of the reading, you have the Four of Cups. So somebody around you, I'm going to read this like this is you, okay? Because that's most of the energy that I feel. But this absolutely could be flip-flopped. It could be a situation around you or someone else learning this. However, make sure you're being real with yourself, okay? Don't Don't try to think it's somebody else. Don't uphold the false reality of yours. It's not helpful. And I know sometimes that's hard to see when you're in it, but just try to be real with yourself, whether this is you or even a part of it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, you are just like, no. Like, yes, you're more focusing on these cups, but at the same time, your just overall energy is like, screw you all. Screw it all. Like you don't want to part in anything, really, unless it's like necessity type stuff. Like you are like when I first started getting into this energy, it was like really like truthful on like the Virgo, the hermit energy. It was so withdrawn and pulled back, so like on one hand going within yourself. It's okay. So in the hermit card, it was the isolation part of the hermit card, but not quite being at the point of the self-reflective part of the hermit card. You'll get there though. You are getting there. It's just right now you're a little bit more of that like chip on your shoulder kind of part of the hermit where you're just like, you know, like F all of you, like kind of thing. Like you just don't want to invest your time or attention really into anything else besides yourself, and sort of to some degree like a self-preservation. Like if you don't make me, like if you don't feed me, if it doesn't give me money, you know, if it, whatever your needs and desires are, everybody's just going to be different. You don't really want a part in it. Like you're just completely like, you're pulled back. You're completely just pulled back. Like not, and what's crossing it is the Six of Pentacles. So you're not giving back. However, like you might feel like this with other people too. Like you might feel like they're doing this to you, and this is why you're pulling back, is because people are pulling back from you, or people are being selfish with you, or they're not giving to you, and so you're doing this back to them. You're just not happy with the exchange around you. You're just not. You're not happy. You're not even happy with you're not giving out, because you're like, well, this sucks for me too. Like, this isn't really fun. I like interacting too. Like, even though you like your kind of quiet time too, like you do like your social time at the same time. So it's not fun to be in the hermit mode more than you want to be. So it does impede you too on that, but you're also not liking the exchange that's going on towards you. So on one hand, it's like you're creating this because of you being in this mode, but on the other hand, it's like this is blocking you. It's like this is just imbalanced. And I feel like, to be honest with you, like I want to keep it real here. And I don't, this isn't just you, like this is everyone around you. It's the whole game around you that you've built up. And I think you're starting to see that. I think you're starting to see this sort of pattern that has been built in your life that you absolutely have been a part of too. And so this is going on also within you. It's a perspective issue. And once you get this perspective switch, it kind of evens all of this out for you. So that's why what is going on here that you'll see ends up actually being beneficial to you. I look at it and I like the energy on the board. Like I think it's good. I will say that, like, you know, when you're going through it, it doesn't seem possibly that great. But you might not be as bad about it. I think it will be a little, but you guys kind of like the growth thing too. Not quite like in a Scorpio way, but in a, at least something is coming from it way. I just think for a minute when it's kind of in the like down, like just crumble phase, I think that part will really suck for you, the lack of grounding and stability of it. So that part's going to be, and not only that, like no Virgo wants to see what they've worked for and built up kind of crumble to some degree, but something has to go. So, but what you are going to like is you're going to see on the flip side, because you are then going to see it pick back up, and you're going to see that everything that, some of the things that have stayed because they were sturdy, but everything that you've even went through during this period, you end up seeing the light of the tunnel on, and you end up seeing there was a point in it all, and you end up seeing then the buildup of what you have went through. So it does feel a little bit better to you when you realize that all that work you did was for something, you know, so that's good. But you know, this is your energy right now, and you're not seeing, like, you could even be offered things like that are good for you or from, you know, heaven above, and you're just like, nope, nope, like everything. You're like, nope, nope, nope. Like, because just the whole balance is off. Like, just the whole give and take is off. And I just really get this vibe. Like, you're really looking at it like everybody else has just been kind of like messed up, or everything else hasn't been like the way it's supposed to be. But I get this vibe like you're not looking at it from the other person's or other situation's perspective. You are like purely looking at it from your own, and it's almost like, this isn't what I built up. This isn't what I put all that work into it becoming. And because it's not looking exactly like the way you would like it to be at this moment, which you may be justified in, you might not, either, whether or not you're justified anyway in your feelings. Like, nothing can invalidate your feelings. But you just have to have those moments in your life where you reevaluate your perspective and decide whether it's still working for you. So I'm not even going to go about this reading saying whether it's right or wrong, because I've been in that predicament before where, you know, you completely see things one way, and then all of a sudden you can completely see things a completely different way, and just, you're like, oh, like, I never realized I didn't see things, you know, I don't want to say properly, but you didn't realize that there was a whole other way to see things, that you didn't even know if there was a better way to see things beyond what you already saw. It's almost like having like a black room, and you've got a flashlight, and the only thing you can see in that black room is where the flashlight is pointing towards. But that doesn't mean all that other stuff is not in that room. You just can't see it because the flashlight isn't illuminating it. The light from the flashlight is not illuminating it. But it doesn't mean it's not there, and it doesn't mean it's not useful as a resource. You just can't see it. And that's kind of what this is. It's kind of like being given a bigger flashlight. You're still not going to see all of it. You know, you've still got the rest of your life journey to like keep, you know, you don't just give it all at once. Not only that, I don't think the human body could literally handle it all at once most of the time. Maybe you are. I don't know. But either way, it's being able to see more than what you saw before. And sometimes even at first, that can be a little scary. It can actually be pretty scary, especially go for like an ego death or even like a dark night of the soul. But even the ego death in itself, it is pretty scary, especially depending on the reality that you've built for yourself, which, you know, have been based on your past wounds. Our wounds taint and color our perception. So something about your perception growing up made you possibly not see this give and take energy, possibly, like, or properly, like, not properly, but you know what I mean? Like you had a wound that maybe happened from in your past that, you know, you really thought you were like giving and giving and giving, and somebody else wasn't. And then them on the other side, because you didn't understand their perspective, they really looked at it like, man, like they just won't, like they're being like controlling and obsessive, or they're not trusting, or yeah, they're here for me in a sexual way, but not here when I need them emotionally. You know, just the perception, like what are your wants and desires? And what are this other person's wants and desires, or this other situation's wants and desires? Are you feeling like you're being like left out in the cold? But yet, funnily enough, so are they. Like maybe you or the other person, like just given hypothetical situations, just to get your hamster wheel turning. Like, you know, like I said, like you're over there, like, man, like say you're a male as a Virgo, and you're really like, you know, you're really sexual. That's how you show like your love and attention and working, and you fix things around the house and you build things and you know, make sure everything's like done right and tidy and in order and whatever, because it makes things flow and run more properly. And, you know, you're with a female who she really just likes to talk and be emotionally expressive, and likes to cuddle, and, you know, I don't I don't know. Like go do things together. And neither one is like right or wrong. It's just the way that you show love is by doing things around the house, you know, giving your good love, um, protecting them, making sure you try to get everything straightened out as much as you can, that things run smoothly. Um, you know, like that's how I love you. And they're like, he doesn't love me. Like he doesn't see me at all. Like he doesn't see me inside here. Like he doesn't want to hold me, or why am I the one always wanting it? Why am I the one who's always wanting to talk? Why am I the one who's wanting to cuddle? Why am I the only one who wants to go do things together ever? Like he must not love me. He must not see me like the same way I see him. He's so detached and he's so cold, and you know, blah blah blah. I don't have to keep going with that. But do you see the difference in perspective on it? Like you're feeling left out in the cold because now they're shutting down and being a certain way with you and not giving this even give and take, because they don't feel like their perspective is showing them that you're not there, you're not giving and taking evenly, and you're not really being fair. And so they're pulling back. And then you're sitting there like, look at all this I've done for them. And they're pulling back. You know, like you get where I'm going with this. I don't have to go more in detail. It's that whole perspective. And like I said, I don't think anyone is right or wrong. It's just when people are so wrapped up in their own stuff, especially when they don't have compassion, it's hard to see other people's perspectives. And it's not about changing somebody's perspective. It's not about somebody's being right or wrong. It's about seeing it more for what it is in a more reality-based way, not a fear-based, wounded way that you don't even see. You're just more off reaction and pattern rather than a higher conscious state. And then knowing and being able to see it so you can align yourself with somebody who either balances you out in a good way or wants the same things, or they at least see each other's points of view. Like even if somebody is more like, oh, I like the emotional side, whatever, like they know not to take it personally if you want to go work on a car, or if you want to go do somewhere by yourself, something for yourself for a minute, or you're just not in a chatting mood or whatever. And then you also being enough in a conscious state, higher conscious level, to know like, oh, they're not just being needy, they're not just being a nag, they're not just bugging me, like this is something they need too. This is something that will make, you know, them happy, and you kind of popping out of your own self for a minute to be there for them. So it isn't even, you can't have this energy if people aren't thinking about other people's perspectives in a way, in the same way. And that's not saying to like lose who you are. I'm not saying that. It's about love, like true love. Like when you're there truly for yourself in a real way, not in a this type of way, you're able to then be able to give to others and see their points of view while still maintaining who you are and what you want. Because you have a higher level of compassion at that point. You have a higher level of love and understanding of where somebody is coming from with what they're doing. And you're kind of just in a better state of mind than just reactive type thing. But anyways, this is, I think, where you're kind of sitting right now. And chances are the other person is too, because there's a misperception or a problem with the level of balance of give and take. What's in your like subconscious or your more distant past is you have the Magician card, which, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, some people might say it's like Aries, which I could see that, but it's also a very mercurial energy, Mercury, which is like Virgo and Gemini. So here you are, you know, but you want to start to try to do something and manifest something differently. Like you just really feel like whatever is going on right now is not working for you. Whether you've built it up to be that way or another person has, or both of you, which, I mean, it's just usually not one person. And if it is, it doesn't last long. So, you're wanting to build up something different, like to do something different, a different course of action. Just make your surroundings different. However, here's the thing I see too. When you started going in this kind of decisive subconscious phase, which is also like in your recent past, like here's you thinking it up, manifesting it to come to physical form, and here's you in your recent past, oh, there it is, and you made the decision that you felt like would make you happy and give you the world. The Magician is kind of more towards like the beginning of the journey. They're more like in the thought process, but also thinking, how can I manifest this stuff into like my outside world? So the problem with this card a little bit is that you might still be thinking externally, like, what can I do action-wise to create my external world being different? But you're still looking externally. It's really what I feel, is you're still looking externally when you're at this phase trying to create something different for yourself and for your life. And then here you are in the recent past. You figured it out. You kind of put more of your plan together. You kind of gotten a little bit more of the and the fiery nature of it and the inspiration. And you're ready to go because you're realizing that this one right here keeps you stuck. It's bound, like it's not moving. It's bolted down. This is not going anywhere. This one is. Again, he's looking externally at it and he feels like it's going to give him the world, or he wants to experience the world. What's crowning this, which I take a lot of times too as like the conscious state of mind, is you have the Knight of Pentacles. So forming something and forming it slow, you're trying to manifest it in a tangible kind of practical way. But clarifying this, you have the King of Wands reversed. So it either doesn't work out the way you thought it would, which is actually probably very likely too. It doesn't work out. But I don't think you had the best either of intentions or perspective behind it. And therefore, I don't think it worked out. This could be also full on the energy of somebody who is either really slow to commit or not wanting to commit, wanting to just have fun and not settle down because they want to venture and see the world. Just not even like this energy is kind of like a passionate, fiery, go-getter energy. But when it's reversed, it's like, so I can read this two ways. I could read it as so fiery and so whatever that there is just no grounding to this energy, that you're just like going, bounce, like inside you feel like this overabundant, out of control, fiery energy that just wants to let loose and just do whatever they want. But yet you're trying to ground yourself, or this is how you're presenting yourself to the world. Or this could be, I don't want to be this fiery, fast, short-lived energy anymore. I want to have or experience in my life a more grounded, stable, and sturdy energy. Even if it takes a little bit longer to build, I'm willing to wait and do the work. However any of that works, or what it means or whatever, whether you came into this with kind of intentions you weren't seeing, like I almost feel like this is what you put together, like this is what you were wanting, but you didn't pay attention to your subconscious. You didn't see what was going on inside, and you didn't realize that you were kind of a unsettled, out of balance, not grounded energy. Like you're a grounded sign, but you're not grounded, and you can't be grounded if you're not really looking internally and questioning your perspective to things. So I don't know. Like I said, there could be intention here. Intention, what's bringing forward, how I feel inside, what's bringing forward. I don't want to be this energy anymore. Because this could be represented in a good way, like fiery, someone who starts things, blah, blah, blah. But it also could be somebody who's in and out of your life. Somebody who knows how to start things but not finish them. And maybe you're deciding you don't want to be that energy anymore. Maybe you're deciding you do want to be that energy because you feel like you have tried to stick it out for too long and screw it. I'm just going to have fun. I don't really care what it looks like or comes across as. And I'm just going to move really slowly in my life and put things together in the way I want. And it'll be a little bit more secure that way. So whatever, screw everybody else. I don't know. Or you're just not wanting to deal with that type of person. There's so many ways this combination can go. And it's in your thoughts and your conscious. So it doesn't even mean that it's you. It could be someone else. It could be you being tired of dealing with this energy. It could be you being tired of feeling this energy within yourself. Maybe you're not wanting to play games anymore in your life. Like this is somebody who plays games. Like this is somebody who's fast or whatever too, but this can be a positive energy. This isn't really a positive energy. The only way this is a positive energy is if it is negating the negative of this energy. But considering it's reversed, they're both going the same way. Like, it's not like these, where this one's going this way, and this one's like, it's like, this is what I used to be, this is what I am, and they're separating. Like, they're the same. They're going the same way. So I don't know, like, are you dealing with somebody who's slow to commit and just plays games? Have you been slow to commit and realized you're playing games and, like, you don't want to be that way anymore? Have you been like, no, I've always been the loyal person and I've stuck it out and I'm tired of it, so now I'm not going to take things clear or slowly or seriously, and I'm going to move a little bit slower at it. Maybe you don't want to limit your options because you realize there's a whole world out there for you to see and a whole world of options. Maybe that's it too. You don't want to limit your options. And you're like, why? I limited my options before and look where it got me, just like this. And an uneven balance of this, give and take. Like, yeah, I think you felt really limited. I think you felt like you were confined, you were held back, you didn't want to limit your options anymore. I think you also felt internally conflicted because these are two completely different energies. Although this could be slow to commit, and so is this person, but still, like, they're still different energies. And sometimes this is a good energy, is because it's like slower to commit. That's like a more negative way of looking at it, but that's kind of the way I'm feeling it. Like you're more slowly going there. Like you really don't want to take the chance. You're kind of like, eh. Like I'm here, I'm building, but just very slowly. And I just don't want to limit my options. I want to do what I want to do. Because before, when I didn't do what I wanted to do, I felt like this. I felt stuck. Like, look at that whole other world this child wants to go see. But they're like chained and locked in. And I sympathize with this. However, this is completely a perspective issue. You're the only one who would keep you feeling this way. So, I mean, this is really a perspective thing going on here. But either way, you don't want to limit yourself anymore. You don't want to limit your options. You want to be able to be free to see and experience the world and what it has to offer, no matter what that is. Or someone else provided you with this. I feel like somebody left. Whether they left a situation, whether you left, they left, whether you left a job, whether you got let go, friend, family, whatever. I feel like something parted ways due to difference in opinions. Irreconcilable differences. Reconcilable differences. Yeah, like difference in opinions, difference in perspectives. Yeah, like you want to be single. Like part of you wants it, but most of you wants to be single. And, or you didn't, and this was just put upon you, and this is where you're going with it. But anyways, in your future, you have the Five of Pentacles and the Devil card, the Devil energy. I just feel like this decision that you made, or that someone else may have made, I feel like it doesn't pan out in the way you thought. I feel like you just didn't see something. And like this is bringing you to seeing something. Maybe you just thought you were being held down and you weren't, like maybe you realized that this was in your head. That coming out of this, you know, is when you realize this is the King of Pentacles. Like you've been here all along, that it's all within yourself. You know, like like this is the Ace of Wands, like that inspiration, like, oh, it was in me all along. And there's your last piece of the puzzle to finding out about who you are, you know, and that leads you to success. And that leads you to, like the Hangman, a new perspective. Like this is almost like a phoenix, like in a way of like a rising of the phoenix, like a coming of a new perspective. And, you know, maybe that brings in somebody from the past. Maybe you look upon your past or your childhood to see where your perspective got shifted this way in all of this. Maybe this brings in a soulmate. Maybe it brings back around a soulmate. Maybe it brings you back to this person. Or maybe you're just literally sitting there now thinking about your past and what this has shown you. And it's making you like re-go over like so many situations in your life. And you're now sitting there and trying to reprocess them with this new perspective that you have. Like almost like you've had an awakening or a mini awakening. Like you've had a shift in perspective. And you're just sitting there thinking like, whoa, like I didn't see this. Like I didn't see this. How could I not have seen this? And, you know, now you're just really wondering like, what else did I not see? What else did I go into my life and through my life doing? Like, did I misprocess anything else? Could there have been something that I threw away, or I need to apologize, or I need to straighten things out, or maybe I need them to apologize to me now, or whatever. Like, just you're really reassessing, like, what else did I not see properly? So you're kind of going back to like things in the past, like the Six of Cups. Maybe even a past relationship. Maybe you're thinking about a past relationship now, like, whoa. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. Someone's at the door. Yeah, like maybe you're literally thinking now about a past relationship. It could be this, or it could be something even before this. Or it could be your own childhood, whatever. Like all of that, all of the above. It could be all you thinking everywhere from your childhood up until this current situation and reassessing everything and how you see things. And maybe now you trusting more. Maybe now you more seeing things from a higher perspective, and kind of it is more of an even give and take now, because you do see things in a more balanced perspective. And this situation, as hard as it may seem, you know, from you walking through it and putting the work into it and keep stepping forward, it's like this flower, like it grew in the most unlikely of circumstances. Something so beautiful grew in the darkest and most unlikely of places that something would grow. And because of that, you know, here's like the Judgment card, but you have beyond illumination. Like you see now, like it's transforming you, what you see. And then you have the Creator, which I'm pretty sure this is like the King of Wands. And you are now more in your power. You are now more inspired. You are now more of a higher, lighter vibration. And you now see all the possibilities in the world. You now, like, I see this as, like, it's two. It's the Two of Wands. But it's, like, about possibilities. Like, you're now seeing all possibilities. You're now seeing all perspectives. You now can see things from a higher point of view. And because now you can see things from a higher point of view and not kind of an ego-driven one, which is from your wound and stuff like that. Like, we all have ego issues we work through. Because you're seeing this from a higher perspective and you're able to see all points of view now and have compassion for it, you're now able to go with the flow a little bit easier. But basically, I don't know. I just think here's the Hermit card. Like, just you being alone has really made you look inside and see, and you saw your own things and saw sort of what you might have been like misprocessing or projecting onto other people. But having compassion, like, maybe either having compassion because, you're kind of innocent on it too. Let's be real. You didn't see it. You don't see what you don't see. So have compassion for yourself and just learn it and move forward and reassess. And if there was anything that you did, misinterpret, just reach out and let those situations or people know. But maybe there was even other situations in your life that you judged or kind of criticized in a pretty harsh way. And you realized like, maybe they were innocent or maybe they weren't, it wasn't what you thought it was. Let's put it that way. You realized that it wasn't what you thought it was. And because of that, you're now able to heal. Yeah. And like be more moment to moments, go with the flow. You can share more evenly now. So you have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Maybe there is a partnership there coming in. But either way, maybe that's the balance of your masculine and feminine. So now you're creating, now you're inspiring, now you're more giving and sharing. And this is the change in your life. Like this is two towers, like right above and underneath each other. Like it's the change in your life. But this is a good one though. I mean, I think it starts out not great. It's almost like your life changes from a tower energy, but then it also changes, it shifts back into that good, abundant, like, yay life again from another tower energy. But this one is more, the second one's more internal. This one does cause a change in perspective, but you got to kind of go through this hard work to get there. And then you have another tower moment, and then you realize that you're like, oh crap, and then you're assessing so much in your life all the way from as far back as you can remember to see what caused it and what you misprocessed. And then when you do and you have those moments, like then you start fixing them, and then there's more tower moments that they start just kind of turning the wheel all over the place and setting the stuff in action. So it's like, this is what I was saying, that you kind of at first were like, this sucks. Like, I just put all this work into like creating stuff and it fell apart. So you're kind of like sad and miserable and grumpy and, Scrooge-like. But it ends up being a blessing. And you end up being actually happy about it because now this work that you're going through, the other paid off too, because that had to get you here. It just had to happen in your life. Like, it's just the way life goes. But this work is the type of work that this one is going to be more here to stay. Not this, but the blessings from the work from this. This is going to help you see things more realistically and help you create a stronger foundation that is not as likely to just collapse, because you really see now, like, this is really going to make you look within. This is really going to make you look at your own demons, your own need to be integrated, your own imbalance of masculine and feminine energies, your own, like, your own codependent things, your own fear-based mentality, just whatever it is that's behind it. It's really going to make you look more at yourself. That is one of the mostly unappreciated or unsaid blessings of this card and even this card. But most of the time, I mean, sometimes this leads to this and sometimes this leads to this. They're almost like interchangeable. They have a very similar energy, in my opinion, or at least right now they do. Because you're just really going to have to be assessing. You're feeling left out in the cold. You might not even be having enough money, or, it's what you value. Like, maybe what you really wanted and valued isn't there enough. Like, something of what you thought didn't pan out the way you thought it was going to be. Maybe you thought you wanted this And maybe you realized that you've had the world all along. Maybe you realized that the world was inside of you and you didn't appreciate it and see it. And if you don't appreciate and see the world inside of you, how are you going to see and appreciate the world outside of you? Maybe you felt stuck in your own way, in your own ways of thinking, in your own ways of doing, and you projected that onto other people like they were making you feel stuck. They were making you feel held back. They were holding you back. But really just having to look within yourself and seeing where your thoughts and your patterns and all of that came from. What wounds created that? Maybe you don't want to go all the way to wounds. It's a lot better to go that way. Sometimes it's hard to see the things without looking at your wounds. But at the very least, if you could go and look at your perspectives and see where they're kind of off or where they were misprocessed, whatever. Usually you find them through seeing some type of wound. Like being wounded. Like these people. See? They're wounded. Maybe you had a fear of abandonment. And so you always keep yourself shut down and not letting people in to be vulnerable. Because then it won't hurt as bad or something. I don't know. I feel like for some reason in this reading, and I don't want to go as deep. Like maybe you guys don't want to hear it as deep or something. If you do, let me know and reach out. This type of work is right up my alley, and I love doing it. But I feel like this is something that you guys just maybe want to see the surface of it, and then you're like, I got this. I'll go do the work. And good luck if that's the case. Like fully on. Like you guys are very introspective when you go, so you could probably do it. If not, like I said, I'm more than happy to help you reach out. And yeah, because these are the type of services I provide. Like I love doing it. So I'm not going to go too deep with that, but there's wounds behind it. And going through this is going to make you have to like reflect on this energy. Maybe even addictions, any type of addiction, whether it's sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, lying, to drama, to food, to overworking, to distracting yourself. Whatever. It could be something viewed as healthy by society and something viewed as not healthy by society. Like it can all be addictions if it's like an overindulgence problem. Or a form of like escape of really what's going on inside. And just most people in this world actually have addictions or an addictive personality at the very least, because a lot of people are codependent. And also it's just people like to view people who have addictions as something that is not seen as appropriate by society, when really what it is when somebody is doing something that impedes the healthiness and healthy flow of their life. Where when what they want and what they say and what they do are not all aligned. And those usually stem from not being integrated. So, just feeling this bound energy. It's like, here's your chains too, and the same here. It's like, say, like almost like this child feels bound and stuck. It was like your inner child feeling bound and stuck. And like, here's you as older, and this is manifested into something more codependent or addictive, and you're again bound and stuck. The only thing is at this time, you haven't split up yet. You were a little more integrated this time, but your perception was like you started perceiving things as being stuck, being alone, being isolated, being not part of what you want, or being able to have what you want. Some need not being met. And here's you older because of this processing, and you've now split. but you've still got those chains, but it has manifested into something a little bit more seriously now. Integration work is really, really needed. I don't know why I'm saying it now. Your overall energy of this is like the other tower. Like I was saying, there was two. And like, here's you being single and on top of your game, but like having a hard time making a decision about this. You have a lot of thoughts going on that you really don't want to see or deal with. Maybe you're even trying to look within, but all you're really seeing is anxiety. And it's either about some relationship around you or you trying, maybe you're not seeing yourself or loving yourself. Maybe you're not like really hearing things properly. Maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to. Maybe there's a judgment to make about a union or about a relationship, but you're just having like a really hard time making it because you want to be single and on top of your game. And if you feel like you do, it's just going to bring you anxiety when what you're not realizing is that you're already anxious anyways. Because you don't know about this energy. You don't know about rising up. Maybe this is that thing in the past. Maybe all this will make you see that situation more properly, either this situation that broke up or the situation from your past. Like I said, that could either be you assessing everything all the way back, or it could be literally assessing a past relationship that now you're seeing you didn't see this properly. You're going back and looking at that like, oh crap, I didn't see that properly. And that kind of like blows your mind. Like, oh no, I really thought I wanted to be single and just doing my own thing. And like I could never decide on what I wanted, yet I had this really great soulmate relationship. And because I couldn't decide, I was really anxious. And I don't know if I made the right judgment call on what I did. Is there a chance of it coming back? And all the while going through all this, here's the rise of your own self and hearing your own call to like rise up, like do something different in life. And I don't know. Maybe you speak that you were confused. Maybe you want to say that you were confused. Maybe you want to offer, make an offer now, or at least the smallest of a gesture, because you're feeling a little bit better about yourself. You got the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. And you feel that hurt, that time of being hurt is over with. That whatever you were feeling and whatever you possibly did to this person, it's done. You want to end it. You want it to be over with. You want that cycle to be over. And you want to work together now. Now you want to come in as the upright Knight of Swords and come in just full of energy, full steam ahead, because you've got something to say and something that could possibly bring you and somebody else this energy. The Ten of Cups. That releases both of you from this heavy burdened energy. Either you or them or whatever situation, and just starts a whole new beginning. One that does not include being stuck. One that does not include conflict. One where both of you are actually giving and even give and take in this situation. And yay, happy days for the both of you. You both now see illumination. It's just getting through hard times. Having the courage, the balance between head and heart, the start of possibly something new. So this could just be like within yourself. Could be your own masculine and feminine. This could be this situation. This could be somebody from the past because this illuminated something for you. Either way, the way you see yourself right now is the Five of Swords. So I think you feel like you're conflicted. I think you have like different thoughts on what to do. I also see it like you are almost removing the swords from everybody else just because you want to be left alone. Like you are doing things in a way in your actions, maybe your actions, your words, your whatever, where you're like, I want to be left alone. You don't care if it comes across like where other people are hurt, like in a way you hurting them is making them walk away. Like you want to be left alone. You don't want to say, I want to be left alone. You want them to get the hint that you want to be left alone. And if they don't, then you're willing to say or do whatever to get your point across. But you want them to leave you alone, be defenseless, and feel like they don't even want to come at you anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, did you have a lot of people coming at you? Did you have like so much stuff go? Like, it's just like you just like it's almost like I feel like the Seven of Swords energy should be here. Actually, a Seven of Wands is what I meant, and it actually is, but it's in a different deck, so it doesn't properly show it. But it's like where somebody's on a higher level, and like people are just like coming at them. There's a lot coming at them. I feel that energy here, and I feel like it puts you here. Like it puts you here, and it put you here to where you're just like disarming everybody. I'm making it to where you either don't want to mess with me, you can't mess with me, whatever. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah, exactly like this. Like just leave me alone. Like I don't care. Like no, I'm just going to do what I want. I want to go see and do what I want. I don't want anything, holding me back, blocking me. I don't want any of this other crap. You're probably looking like people are giving you this energy, but you're doing it too. Like you're just literally like, nope, leave me alone. In your environment or the way others see you is, you have other people looking at their perspectives too, but they could be looking at you like, you're in solitude. You've put yourself in this situation of just, going off on your own, trying to figure things out, not wanting to be around people. But they might also be looking at you like you have an upside down perspective. Like they're just like, why do they not clearly see what's really going on here? And it's not just you who's missing it. It's like everybody's missing it, because usually like it's a dance that happens. Like you don't ever have usually one person when you're together all the time. The people that you're constantly around, your close, your main niche, whatever, your main, whatever posse of people, whatever you want to say. You never have, and like I said, nothing's right or wrong, but you never have one with a more realistic point of view and the other one doesn't, because it's a dance. Like if someone was really that right on, they wouldn't be able to handle the other person's perspective, at least not for that long. So everybody's is going to play a dance. Even if theirs is a little more quote, quote, correct, theirs is still off too. Because there's still clearly things they're doing if they're clearly around somebody else who's like upholding a reality to somebody who has like a false reality. I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, it's a dance. They're feeding off each other. And that's the other thing too. Like, when you realize this might literally clear out a lot from your life. Whether you either did realize it or you are going to have to realize it. You might have to clear out things from your life. Or at least people who are not seeing things more properly. You get what I'm saying? It just makes things hard to explain things. But like attracts like. Frequencies similar. Like if somebody else is really closed down and they're not seeing their own patterns anymore, you're going to have a hard time being around people who are not looking at their own patterns. And it seems like now you're looking at your patterns. And you can't be around people anymore who are not willing to look at their patterns. So this might be why you're isolating yourself, or from isolating yourself, you have put yourself in a situation where you're able to gain a different perspective. And now you're still kind of by yourself, but you're rebuilding. It's like almost like a slate wiped clean, so you can add people back into your life who are now more properly aligned to you. But a lot of that had to go. This is very much like an awakening energy, or just a really strong shift in perspective. Yeah. Because you just don't want other people with this type of energy anymore. Nothing else that leads to like, who aren't looking at this within themselves as well. Because you now see the value in this. You see the value in this work that this had. It was hard when you went through it, but this work really pays off because you're like, I think of Virgo on one hand, they're not going to want to change their perspective because they're not going to know. But once they see it and they see what it can gain them, like how much more they can get from what they work, they're going to like love it. Like they're going to be like, that's their jam, you know, like anything that can provide them more work to do and more satisfaction and growth for that work. They're like, I'm about it. What's up? And you just didn't, you needed, like this almost happened to help you get to that level because it was holding you back. You don't see what you don't see. This made it to where you now see. You've almost like leveled up. You've leveled up in a way where now there's new actions you can take, new growth. It's almost like playing a video game. You know, you don't have the privileges of these magical powers or like points or options or whatever. You can't get here until you've learned these. This almost is like a leveling up vibe. And now you go ding, 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 ding. All this stuff comes in your account and now you see all this stuff you can work with and grow. And you're just like, oh, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm blowing this way out of proportion, but I just feel like once you get past the hard part of it, you're going to be like, what? Damn, I wish I'd have seen this sooner. I would have made things a whole lot easier. But, you know, perspective. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, this situation might literally create a new way of you looking at things and like you seeing a whole new level of opportunities of stuff for you to play with, work with, and grow. Some of it might be hard as far as things having to let go or the transition of letting things go or whatever. Some of them will go and then might come back. Maybe you doing your thing might help others grow and then they can come back. But either way, it's kind of like a wiping of like clean slate and you seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe even learning like, you know, the other side of the perspective or compassion about things. But either way, I think maybe what's going on with you will put other people in a different way to change their perspective, like I said, or they're seeing you pulling back and you're trying to get time alone to think, or maybe they've realized you've had a difference in perspective and they realize you've changed. Or they just think the way you're thinking about things is completely like you're turned upside down. Again, you look like you're bound, you're stuck, you know. So maybe your environment makes you stuck, or maybe people like think you're acting like you're stuck. I don't know. In your hopes and fears, you have the Four of Wands. So I think this is both. I think on one hand, what you hope for is to have this again and have stability and have balance, have a strong, sturdy foundation and have like people that you love in good times. You just don't want it in the way that maybe this situation brought you. Because you just realized there was just a whole lot of like not being real with reality in this situation, toxicity, codependency, not even give and take, just wasn't that great. Like you don't want this again, but you do want this. Like hopefully this helps you, all this helps you realize, and where you end up at is realizing that this doesn't mean this. Like there is a way to have like this situation or a relationship or whatever that doesn't make you feel, you know, like this or like this. And I do think that you come to that just by what your outcome cards are or your likely outcome. I think you come to that realization. So you do kind of fear this because part of you maybe in the beginning might associate this to this. And, you know, like your hopes is to have this without this, and your fear is to have this, and you get this again. You get what I'm saying? But do you want to feel grounded again, either way? And you want to feel good again. It is coming. It is coming. So just during these days, just know that they pass. Do the work in the meantime and just keep taking your steps forward. No matter what, how dark it is, no matter if you can't see, no matter if you don't know where it's going, you're thinking you might be doing all this work and not paying off. And like, I think for Virgo, that's like a no-no. Like if you're doing work, it needs to pay off. It needs to be productive. Trust me, set aside your, you know, fears on this, like have relief. It will pay off. This pays off. All of this stepping forward in the dark and not knowing where it goes and releasing and all that fact, and the fact you don't know, you don't even know what you're building for. Like what Virgo wants to build things and they have no idea what they're building. Well, this is it. This is you walking forward in the dark and building in the dark, and you have no idea what the outcome is going to be. And you're thinking that it's not going to pay off because you can't see the end vision. But it does pay off. Like you learn the benefits and lessons in this that you would have never even seen before. You would have never even known that they were lessons to be learned, or that they could be, or even anything like that. But you learn them, and you do it by doing this work. So it completely pays off. Okay, so just do it, just walk it, do it. Even if you can't see, even if you think you're gonna trip, even if you're like, I don't know, I'm not gonna build the right thing because I can't see what I'm building. No, because something above you. Okay, now I see what this is. Something above you has a better plan and is allowing you to build something that you couldn't have seen before. You wouldn't have seen it before. Because you have deer. Take note of the messages and whispers and secrets adrift on the breeze. This is like spirit. Maybe somebody you even have like deer or stags as your totem animals, or even as a guiding spirit. But either way, like this is like saying, like it's that energy coming in from above, like the messages and the whispers and secrets adrift on the breeze. Like kind of like even this. It's they see something that you don't. They see a perspective that you don't. And this is helping get you there. So just keep going. What's in your likely outcome is you have the Seven of Pentacles with the Temperance card. And to clarify that, you have the Five of Cups reversed. So you're now really having a better perspective and really able to stand back and look at what you're building up. You're able to sit back and truly contemplate in a more balanced way what you're building, what you want, what you don't want, what is going to give you your best return of investment. And you coming more to balance. This also, in my opinion, I mean, I know a lot of times the devil is also compared to the Lover's card just because of the, you know, you have something higher here in the triangle form of it. But I also a lot of times look at these like together, like this is the healed and a more evolved version of this. Like this is when this card is integrated. When this is integrated, these two, and this is seen, this energy is then released and transmuted into this. So you going through this process and what you learn from it allows this energy to be transformed and transmuted into this energy. You are now more balanced. You are now, see the triangle? You are now more stable. You are now possibly even more able to like, yeah, actually flow with your emotions because you have cards down here that support that. you are more balanced. You are able to, in a more healthy way, step back, see what you want, see a healthy perspective, assess what's going to give you a better, return, because you're more balanced now. You're seeing it from a more balanced, even give take perspective. Like, this is what was crossing things before too. When this was your main card, what was blocking you or crossing? Balance. So this whole process leads you to balance. It leads you to letting go of heartache and heartbreak and knowing why things happened. Why, being grateful for those things that happened. Having a healthier and better perspective. One that now gives you a better rate of return and allows you to grow. And you are being guided through this. Like I said, like, you're being guided. So either way, you end up with balance, and you end up knowing where to put your energy and where to put your actions now. And you kind of release this little hurt and chip on your shoulder or whatever. So that's released. Because you see why things happened. And you're even grateful for them. So that's cool. Like, gratitude is like the best thing in the world. I had some cards down here that, like, I didn't know what they were. Then other cards laid out, and they kind of just laid a certain way. So it was kind of cool. But you have the King of Cups. I don't know. Maybe I'll hold these like this. And they kind of went with your how you see yourself card. But so you have the King of Cups. You have the Hierophant. You have the Nine of Cups. And you have the Nine of Wands. And you have the Five of Swords. So, I don't know if you are trying to stay emotionally balanced during a commitment or marriage. Or even seeing the lessons in it, but more in a commitment, in, like, maybe you or somebody viewed yourself as being higher, or the one who gives the lessons, like, in the more authority role. I don't know. But either way, maybe you were trying to stay emotionally balanced during a type of marriage where there was a lot of just smugness and selfishness, and that built up a wall of boundaries. And a wall, basically, like this. Person has up a wall like this. So this is a very similar energy. And then it led you, to being like this, which, is where you pushed everybody away from you, basically. So, like I said, I think you were trying to remain balanced and keep your emotions balanced. And there was some turbulent emotions, and I think yours were getting emotionally turbulent, and you were trying to remain calm and steady during that. Maybe it was even getting so much so that's why you had to pull back, was to stay balanced. And when you did that, it gained you a different perspective, maybe when you weren't even planning on, but it just happened. And it was about some type of commitment or loyalty or whatever. It probably taught you a lesson, but some type of commitment. Maybe even somebody who always felt like they were always coming down on you. Like, this person acts like they're higher than these two. Like, they were always coming down on you, or maybe you did this to them. You probably felt like they did it to you, but they probably felt the same way, actually, is what I kind of feel. And there was just a whole lot of, like, selfishness, smugness, like, what I want, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, led to, like, a wall going up. And then here's you pushing people away. Now, it ended up working out where other cards that came out, like, I feel like they were actually clarifiers, and it, like, wasn't supposed to be that way. But So it's like you trying to stay balanced, but not doing a good job at it. Like you're trying to stay emotionally balanced, and exactly like here, like harmony. You're trying to remain emotionally, in harmony. But here, you didn't realize that you weren't like you needed integration. Where it's almost like here is the integrating from all this happening, like the balance of head and heart, like like you're trying to stay balanced, and inside you feel like you're trying to gain a better balance between your head and your heart. And you want to stay playful about it too. Dolphins are very loyal, but they're also very playful. And your next card, you have playfulness. So, you have this, which is, I think it's the Page of Wands, the playfulness card. And they're dressed up like a clown. So you could either feel like this relationship or commitment was a joke, or like people are just clowning around and not taking it seriously, whether it was you or somebody else. But I also see it like this situation, has just made you so serious and so unhappy that like you can't even see like the like positive or playful side of things anymore. You're just like stuck in this energy. And you don't want to be like that anymore. Like you want to have more of a head over heart or head and heart balanced and be more playful. Maybe even towards this person, like it could have been a Taurus or somebody, like maybe you're wanting them to be more playful. Maybe you're wanting to be more playful to them. Maybe like, I don't know, like maybe you offered, I don't know which one you are, like maybe you offered something to somebody and they're like, no, like maybe they rejected you. Maybe they, like I said earlier, like remember how like they both were feeling rejected? Like one of them feels like the other is rejecting them, and then they feel like they're rejecting them. Like they feel like both of them are like not being fair to the other. They're not giving, because both of it is coming across by both that, being selfishness and smugness, like the ego, like, well, if you're not going to give, I'm not going to give. And if you're not going to give, I'm not going to give. Literally like this, like how I just felt like that, like how this card. Like I think two people were like, had completely different perspectives and neither one was right or wrong. They just didn't really have good communication skills to really see where the other person was coming from, to have that compassion on the other person's perspective. I don't know, this could be like because of having options or third party situations, someone was being smug. But I feel like also like this is what maybe even both of these situations or parties were wanting. They were both wanting this 3 of Cups energy of celebration and coming together and being playful and having fun. But both were just sitting there and waiting and, waiting on the other and being smug and content and egoic and just really not in the right perspective, a very self-centered perspective, not trying to see things from the other's point of view so that this energy can be expressed. I mean, that's really what happens. Like there's so many things that are lost out when you just close your mind off to other perspectives. And that's why I really, really think you saw the last piece to this puzzle and you finally have victory in your thoughts. And it really transformed you, and you're now kind of going back and thinking, what did you miss? What other pieces of the puzzle did you miss? What did you not think correctly about? I mean, there might have, all the way from your childhood up till now, but there might have been something significant in your past that you just realize now you might have completely misinterpreted and seen the wrong way, or in not a way where you saw a block, you saw a way that this situation could not grow. And you realize now that, you know, maybe they were a block too, but you were as well. And even if they saw the truth, like, it couldn't move forward if you didn't. And, you know, this guarding in this wall that you think up, that you've put up to protect yourself, has actually put you in this. It says suppression. This is the 10 of Wands. You have the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. This is you coming to the end of this cycle too, by the way. But this wall that you put up, I mean, don't get me wrong, boundaries are healthy, but there's a difference between boundaries and a wall. And I get the vibe of a wall. And this person is just suppressed. They're bound up. These are clouds. This box on his head is in the clouds. He's all tied up with rope and stuff. It looks like glass is just shattering all around him. He's bound up with ropes. His head is in the clouds. You're all up in your head. You are all up in your head, which is a very typical sign for both mercurial things, Gemini and Virgo. Just all in your head. And it's all like an illusion. It's all your thoughts. It's all being so stuck in your head that this is all you see outside of you as well. It's just you realizing that stuckness was all in your own head. This situation might come back around, or this one might be ruined, but maybe that one from the past could be salvaged. Or maybe it's time to start new with a blank slate. But either way, this wall that you've built is because you're in your head. And because of that, you are keeping yourself blocked. And that might become more apparent once this situation wipes out and you're like, why do I still feel this way? And, you know, here you are pushing people away. You get your wish. You get your wish. They go away. They leave you alone. Bravo. Well done. Success. They leave you alone and they go away. And now because of that, you know, 4 of Swords, you're kind of resting, you're going within, you know, you have all, it's almost like her like dealing with all the voices and the demons in her head. But you're moving through it and you're doing it and you're going within. And I do think it's something spiritual that's leading you there. I mean, you have the 8 of Wands, like spirit that, to me, I mean, yes, it could be communication and action and all that. But if you really look at the process in a tarot card, or the order of it, the 8 of Wands, like, nobody's in it. It goes from the 7 of Wands of protecting yourself and the 8 of Wands, or the 9 of Wands, I'm sorry, of having your wall up. So this is action. This is a lot of stuff happened. Usually no one's in the card. So a lot of times it really could be taken as spirit doing that, or spirit initiating actions within your life to cause you from going from defending yourself to then being battled and warned and having boundaries. But which leads you to this anyways, this 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands. So what leads to this is stuff happening in your life that just really looks kind of chaotic. Could be someone from your past. You have, like, you know, Mercury. It could be a Sagittarius, which you do have two Sagittarius related cards. Actually, even more than that, but in your major arcana. Stuff's happening in your life. Something with an issue of give and take. And generosity, like, in what you value. Like, what's down here is like the Saturn symbol. So maybe Saturn's really trying to teach you a lesson. Like, I almost see like Taurus here. And then you got Saturn and him giving someone something. And Taurus, this Hierophant card is about lessons. So maybe, you know, Saturn is coming in to really teach you a lesson on balance and even give and take of what you value. Maybe it's really trying to do this also to show you what you value and what really is important to you. Maybe you thought you knew what was important to you and you didn't. Your whole perspective was off. You do have two things here of Taurus as well. So maybe you're trying to decide, or, important things between Sagittarius and Taurus. But either way, I think that, with Saturn happening and everything like that, especially being retrograde and learning the lesson within, I think it's teaching you a lesson about balance, even give and take, and your perspective on that and what you really want. Because here's the moon reversed, which the card on, it's showing for that is hysteria. It's like maybe truths are coming out, like maybe you're taking action on what you really do want, and truths are coming out, or it's something has happened that's really helping you realize, like, this is confusion, this is not, like, you're realizing that you weren't seeing things clearly. Maybe other people are seeing that about you, I don't know. But some action was given, and I think some lesson about balance, even give and take, and what you really want, what you really find of value, is really coming in, and it's showing you that you weren't really seeing things from the perspective that was best for you. And that either caused you to pull away and withdraw, or, then you do. Now you know where to put your attention and kind of wipe other things out. And you either did that before because you thought you knew what was going to make you happy, or you learned this lesson and you pulled back because now you know where to put your energy that does make you happy. I kind of more get it like you weren't seeing things properly, you pulled away, not even give and take, because, you were trying to, like, make yourself happy and figure out, like, what gives you abundance, and, like, you have Mercury and Virgo here. Like, you were just, like, pulling away and just being in yourself, trying to think and figure out what you want. And then while you were sitting there thinking, here's the Queen of Swords, while you were sitting there thinking, you pulled away and probably cut people off. You did have your realization somewhere along this. And here's your Four of Wands. It brings you to a better balance. And now you're like, the door of the castle comes down with this bright light. And it's like, oh, like, here I am, folks. Like, Virgo's back. Like, Virgo's back now. They're done isolating themselves. They have figured out what they wanted to figure out. Venus is also about to go into Virgo if it's not already. So maybe that's why. Maybe Venus going into Virgo made you help you realize what was important to you and what you really wanted. Like I said, like, what was important, what you really wanted. This lesson here from Saturn also. I think they're all, like, posing each other or something too, but and then it has the Aries on here too, like you now seeing and knowing, like, what's important to you, what you really want, seeing a better perspective, and now you're going after it, and you have more of this Emperor energy. You feel more abundant, like with the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, you might be single at this point, but hey, now you know how to rebuild. And you're kind of more on your path, the Star card. You now know what you want. You have faith in that. The Death card, you're ending cycles that aren't working out for you. And you're speaking your truth. This is the truth. And speak. You're speaking your truth of things that have hurt you and what you no longer want. Maybe even things you've regretted. You have the Mars card, like taking action. And Mars right now being retrograde may cause, you have Scorpio on here too, because it rules Aries and is the co-ruler of Scorpio, and it's so intense, they might actually be more quiet. So maybe if you do have, regrets and stuff like that, like, don't be like your natural inclination to pull back because it's so intense. Like, either wait till you're done being more intent and then do it, or, just go and speak your truth about any regrets that you have or anything. Maybe you figure things out that you misprocessed, that you just saw, wrong, like you have a different viewpoint on it. And you want to share that. You want to share that, you're feeling good now. You see things, you're on your way, you've changed, you've ended cycles. And now you want to speak your truth about things that you see. And maybe what you saw other people do, or what you saw that you did that you saw wrong, and you just want to show now. Now you have compassion. See, compassion. I don't know how clearly you could see it. You have compassion now for other people because now you have more of like a better love for yourself. This might also like, maybe try to like revive this situation. But either way, because you now more see yourself and have a better level of compassion because of this that you went through, I think you see another situation a little bit more clearly. And I think you're going to go talk to that person. You just really want to come and talk to that person and share and talk about where you guys have been and maybe where it can go and create more of a balance to the situation. Yeah, I think it's just time. There's the Nine of Swords. I thought I had said earlier about the Nine of Swords energy, but there's somebody that you've really been, maybe even wanting, looking at. They've been holding back on you and not bringing you happiness. And this is why you've been like this. But I think you're going to come to find that you took it as though they're not giving to me, or they don't want me, or this isn't even give and take, and they're holding back for me, blah, blah, blah. And, here's the Queen of Wands. Like, you really want them. You want them to pay attention. You're passionate about it. But Four of Pentacles, like, you think they're being greedy and they're holding back. Like, look, he's trying. She's not. Even in this picture. Like, he's looking and wanting, and she's just like, that's right. I'm sexy. Mm-hmm. You could watch me, but you're not going to get anything back. Sure, you could see me laying here all sexy and everything, but you're still not going to get anything. So, nope. And then here's your Ten of Cups, but it's reversed. So it's like it didn't give you the abundance or like whatever you wanted. But I think it's just you starting to realize things now, and the wheel has turned. This is turning the wheel. I don't know if it's on this situation or if it's something on the past, but it's turning the wheel. And now you're more properly able to see like your emotions and the way you've been thinking about things. And it more properly gives you like your Ten of Pentacles. Like happiness, but with healthy boundaries and the start of like a new love and feeling independent and good about yourself. Hopefully you don't pop into like a really obsessive phase. Be balanced about it. I don't know. Maybe you'll even realize that some situation also had more of an obsessive or codependent thing to it. Like, either being done with the obsessive part, being done with the illusion of things not being real, or somebody that you cut out from your past that you still always think about. And kind of they're always on your mind. You want to like start things up with again. And end an old cycle and start anew. And like, look, here's the Ace of Wands. Maybe even a twin flame situation. This for me in this deck is really one of those twin flame cards. Just because you have like two people in the flame coming back together. The renewal of passion, the renewal of just that sexual energy. Twin flames also are very much about a sexual energy. And no, not everybody with a sexual energy is that. That's not what I'm saying. Like, but it is that just from within energy. I don't know. Maybe it helps you see your twin flame better if you are in a twin flame situation. But either way, it could be somebody from the past and it could be very passionate. Maybe you guys even have like some kinkiness going on. Like you guys can really just hit the sheets together. Like it is passionate. It can either be loving and passionate, or it can just be like, like that raunchy type of passionate that you guys like. You guys like that. You want it. High Priestess, here you are. This is also Virgo a lot of times. Or this other person might just be like this in your eyes. Just something you wanted. and just a new beginning with that. The High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles, new beginning, Queen of Cups. You've got some people here with a twin flame situation. Because, I mean, geez. Like, I think this was a karmic situation. And this karmic situation happened like this to help you see a different perspective with a twin or somebody of a really strong spiritual soulmate. And you not being defensive and going to them and turning the wheel on that and seeing your emotions, letting go of the anxiety and seeing what you really want, putting your wall down, starting something new, realizing that maybe you cut somebody out because of like codependent things and fears. You just want to end that whole, end that whole codependent cycle. And you want to start like this new beginning, like here's you, twin flame, new passion to begin. And you guys can really hit the sheets too. Like they might have even knew and been trying to tell you about this with the High Priestess. Like they might have been like highly intuitive and spiritually connected to you, talking about new beginnings or whatever. But either way, like now maybe you're seeing it more now. Like maybe you're more in tune intuitively now. New beginnings. You know, loving relationship, Two of Cups, the Lovers, Page of Pentacles, the Stars. You know, it could go on and on, but you have as some of your oracle cards. Hurry this up. You have some of your oracle cards. You have explore your options, consult an expert, have faith, and set your sights higher. So it's like explore your options, also make a decision. You might have been going back and forth in your head about making a decision, feeling stuck or indecisive. Listen to your intuition and make a decision. You might have really been trying for a while to make a decision on what was best for you, and you just completely shut yourself off and pushed everybody else away because you were trying to protect yourself. But you have to open yourself up and let yourself, you know, receive again. But I think you were trying to make a decision. But it's really hard to make a decision when you have a really limited perspective. Limited perspective equals limited options. You need to explore your options. This situation happened to help you explore your perspective and know that there's more options than what you were thinking of. And you have consult an expert, which is more information is needed. Contact someone with expertise in this area. You could contact somebody, talk to somebody, a therapist, somebody else with twin flame if you're into that. Either way, I get like more information is needed. Like you did not see all the options on the table. You did not have a correct perspective. And because of that, you did not have faith. Here's have faith. Your prayers are manifesting, remain positive, and follow your guidance. You did not have faith in this situation. You also thought that your offer to this person wasn't being taken, like they just didn't want you. You just didn't realize you guys had two completely different perspectives because you pulled away and didn't talk to this person, or they did this to you. So you like lost complete faith, and it's about increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle. Like, don't settle. Don't go back to like just being this, screw all you, screw the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, know that stuff's going on. It's just a tweak in your perception that what you're wanting is coming in, and that you really can have this, what you really want inside your heart. It doesn't always turn out like the karmic way, and it doesn't look like you thought this looked in your head. Just different perspectives. You have clear out the old. Like I said, this is going to bring you a different shift in perspective. It's going to ask you, you're going to be clearing some stuff out. Anybody who is no longer willing to see their patterns, you're not going to want them around you. You don't have time for it. You now have new options in your life. You now have new ways to grow. You now have new sights to set your vision on, whatever, new things to set your sight on, whatever the thing is. Like, you now know a little bit more of where you're going. This has like just opened your mind up, and you don't have time for that stuff because you now have a fresh approach to things, more options, ideal course of action. Love might even matter to you now, and it's culminating in your vision, because now you realize that, hey, things were coming together. I was just being kind of a Scrooge about it and not having faith in the situation, because I decided to just shut down and not talk about it, or they decided to do this to me, and this wasn't at all, like, they really weren't pushing me away. Like, it just had to go this way for a minute, because this lesson had to be learned. This lesson had to be learned. I feel like this was a karmic situation, whatever happened here, especially if you're in a twin flame situation. Like, this was meant to open your eyes about something, and you might literally full well, like I said, have had an awakening. At the very least, a pretty good shift in perspective. I want to read this one card, Assurance. This is about assuring you that all this is going on for a reason, and it's leading you somewhere. And it's basically going to take this reverse have faith card and flip it upside down. And you're going to start to see now why things had to happen and why they've been happening in the way that they have. Assurance. Remain steady and be assured you are doing exactly what you are supposed to do. You might be seeing small signs that things, situations, and desires are just beginning to fall into place. Your focus and skills are intact. You will feel motivated in work areas and therefore make good inroads on your usual work. New ways of dealing with things will occur to you. Fresh perspectives will appear. And as a result, your life will move towards harmony and balance. Trust yourself. You have everything you need. Fresh perspectives will appear. And that was also one of yours too, like, fresh approach. Your life will move towards harmony and balance. Trust yourself. You have everything you need. This is all happening for a reason. So don't even think like, oh, Virgo messed up. Oh, Virgo didn't see things properly. Oh, they didn't know how to work properly on themselves. Don't hold this against yourself, because you guys are like super critical too of yourselves first and foremost. So you might look at this as like this whole thing was your failure. And please let me tell you, let me be the one to tell you so you guys can help your perspective. This was not your failure. You did exactly what you were supposed to be doing. Yes, it sucks. You weren't seeing the right perspective, but this was a lesson for you, and this had to happen in this karmic situation in order to get you to the next phase and level up, which that's right up your alley, I think, for a Virgo. What Virgo doesn't want to level up after putting in the work. Sometimes things look like they break apart before they get better, even when you're in the middle of leveling up. So don't let yourself go into an illusion that what you've done has been for nothing, or that, you know, you're having the opposite effect, or wanting to give up, or be in a bah humbug state, or whatever. No, it's absolutely coming together. It's actually coming together better than you had even planned. You just got some of the stuff down. You just didn't see all of it. You didn't see the whole plan, and you didn't see all of the options that would get your plan to go where you wanted it to go. So there's been some intervention. There's absolutely been some intervention, because they've heard what you've been trying to put out. They've heard the work that you wanted to do, and you're being assisted with it. You just don't see it and you think it's your failure, but no, it's actually like the universe or God's way of being like, here, let me help you. I'm going to give you a little detour to get a little bit more where you're going. And it's actually a blessing, because it's like, the reason I'm doing this for you is because I see you. I see what you've been doing. Let me just kind of turn and tweak you a little bit so you can get there, because we don't always see what we need to see, you know? So you have two more oracle cards, and this is about karma. So either about you or somebody else getting the karma, like what you reap, what you sow is what you reap, or what you reap was what you sow, or whatever. Getting what they deserve, whether it's you or somebody else. It's also telling you, like, if you're on the receiving end of this karma, like say someone left you, you know, because you didn't see things properly, which is okay, because this is leading you to a better place. This wasn't supposed to work out, just so you know. What's supposed to be will be. So karma situation, what's supposed to be will be. But also it's saying, like, don't get too hard on yourself for that. Again, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. Like, in all the, like, funky but amazing things in life, the universe knows how to add them together to make the perfect concoction of where you need to go. So it's accept this slate that is wiped clean and don't look at it as your failure. Look at it as this is even more getting you where you've been trying to go. It's removing a lot of those obstacles and you now see a better perspective and it removes a lot of like that riffraff from your life. You might feel alone. You might feel like, look, the house is empty. You might feel like people are looking at you like, what happened? You're crazy. Oh, you messed up. No. You might have to rebuild, but when you rebuild now, it's going to be on a sturdier foundation. And this was something that was supposed to happen. Everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. You did not mess up. Learn from it, though. Grow from it. If you learn this lesson and then you go back and do the same things, now you're messing up. So yes, even if you did mess up things to people, it still happened the way it was supposed to. With you getting your karmic lessons, with them getting their karmic lessons. Like I said, this is a karmic situation. This was to learn karmic lessons so that now you can go forward and level up with something better. Because if you're leveling up to something better, do you want to bring this stuff or have to learn these lessons on a higher level? No, you want to learn those higher lessons from that higher level. You don't want to bring this to that level. So this is helping you rid yourself of that stuff while you're leveling up because you don't want to bring this crap to that level. Okay? This is also about this reverse like this. It's about compassion, learning compassion. This situation is helping you learn compassion and see things from different perspectives, from possibly someone else's perspective. Probably even heal some of your own wounds so that then you're able to actually see things from other people's perspective. This is some good stuff. It can be uncomfortable, like I said, for a minute, but it is getting you where you need to go. It is getting you what you want. You are leveling up, and because you level up, you are absolutely getting more options and more learning experiences in your life, which is right up your alley. All the work you have done has paid off. It just sometimes you got to go through those periods that you have no idea, where you have no idea what's going on. But it's okay. Because when you put all your work into something and it's going, and then sometimes when it drops and it's dark and you don't know what's going on, that's divine intervention doing a slight little tweak just to put you exactly where you were doing the work to go there anyways. Virgo, July 2018, please. Okay? Trust in that. Trust in that period. It's just that little tweak you're needed to get it where you need it to go because there was something you weren't seeing properly. But it's a good job on the rest. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Speak your truth, too, if that comes up. But you've got healing going on and speaking your truth when that comes up. But do it in a healthy way, which this is going to help balance you with it. But you do have healing going on for sure. You have Tiger's Eye, empowerment. This situation is going to empower you. You just got to get through the rough phase first. Symbolizes prosperity, encourages the right use of power. It balances your needs with those of others, finding solutions. Exactly. It balances your needs with the needs of others. More even give and take. Finding solutions. A child of the sun and earth with untold powers. You make your own fate. Assert yourself wisely. Bring hidden talents to the fore and accept your imperfections. Accept your imperfections. It's okay. There is a tendency towards obsessiveness or becoming spaced out. Ground yourself. Explore your past lives to discover causes of these traits. Deal sensibly with day-to-day reality and face challenges boldly. Unlock your creativity. Find prosperity and lasting success. Long journeys and celebrations lie ahead. Your personal power, confidence, and energy are high. Use them wisely. Commit to goals. Distinguish between wishful thinking and what you really need. Assist friends to gain their heart's desire. Past lives throw light on current situations. past situations too. This situation is going to throw light on other situations. Doing what gives you joy increases your well-being. This is probably going to open you up to where you're going to be more creative. You're not going to be so hard on yourself. And it's going to help you release, like I said, a lot of this toxicity. Like your personal power, confidence, and energy are high. Use them wisely. That is why it is taking this energy away from you, because there is an energy coming in and a leveling up that you're going to need to do things in a little bit better way. It's not going to be good for you. You're either not going to be able to level up, or it's not going to be good for you to level up and bring this type of energy to it. So this is a clearing out. This is a, where was it? Clearing out in order for you to walk more healthily and properly in this new level of leveling up, because this stuff cannot exist in that level. Okay? Just to let you know. 42. Kabbalah Jasper. No, I'm sorry. Kambaba Jasper. Something like that. Ancient Echoes. Attunes your personal biorhythms to the natural cycles of the planet. This crystal also facilitates deep clearing of your karmic body and the ancestral line. Yes. Clearing out karma. When you live in your head rather than the physical world, your cellular structure becomes unstable and your metabolism is thrown off balance. You may not be assimilating oxygen or nutrients such as minerals and vitamins. Remember that ideas are nutrients too. Disruption of your autonomic nervous and immune systems may be caused by ancient traumas and family dramas. So if you're having like especially a lot of anxiety too, I mean, that's like your most obvious one, but it could be more than that, especially like autoimmune diseases or something. Healing within, like your physical, by the time it manifests to your physical body, there's been stuff going on for a while. Your body is like your last form of its cry for help that something's wrong. Getting in touch with the ancestors and understanding the processes of creation helps you recognize the value of recycling the past to create a more potent future. Check out what is passed down the ancestral line and utilize homeopathic healing for miasms such as tuberculosis. By changing how you view things, you dramatically improve your well-being. I mean, if that doesn't wrap up this whole thing, I don't know what does. By changing how you view things, you dramatically improve your well-being. And chances are you're going to have to also look at the pattern of like your family lines. Ancestral DNA, ancestral karma, perspectives, patterns, all of that. This is about you going to a new world and clearing out these old patterns that no longer work. Whatever this was couldn't come with you to the new world, and it was happening in order to help you release it, because wherever you're going in this new world, this can't exist. Maybe this thing from your past, if you are one of those people that something significant is happening from your past, or even a twin flame situation, this was a big karmic lesson you had to learn that's helping you with that and is helping you regardless of that, first and foremost, within yourself, balance yourself out and be there so you can move forward. So I really hope you guys are seeing what I saw in this, where I was like, I take this as like a really good reading. There is going to be a minute of uncomfortableness, but I'm not done with mine. But I've went through this, a huge portion of this. It's still happening. I don't know, because I can't see the future, but all I know is that this type of work, it pays off more than anything else you've ever put your time into. I know that firsthand. So don't look at it like a failure that led you there. Look at that as a blessing, because that's absolutely what it is. It's being able to see the light through the dark and coming out transformed because of it. It's absolutely the most beneficial and rewarding energy and time and whatever that you can put into something. Nothing will give back than you doing that work and putting into yourself, because it mirrors in your environment. So anyways, I think that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. Probably long enough, depending on who's still with me. But keep your heads up. Don't hold this against yourself. This is not a curse. This is not a punishment. This is a blessing. Be grateful, Virgos. Be grateful. And do the work, because I promise you it will pay off. Okay? Thank you again, everybody, for everything. Thank you for being there, for everything, for my channel, for giving back on the energy flow, all of that. And I hope you guys have an amazing and a very abundant and full of growth July. So, bye. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.